Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. And this is Cards Across America, the occasional series brought to you by the Baseball Card Illustrated channel. I'm Bronko, the PSA 11, and this is the Iowa State House, the only five-domed Capitol building in the country. This is Des Moines, Iowa, and it's 5 minutes from just about everything, including the Capital City Card Convention. I'm going to review the show from HyVee Hall, give you a tour of the Hawkeye State, and show off some landmarks along the way to go along with several of the purchases that I made. Many of the cards displayed in this video will be available for purchase in the Baseball Card Illustrated eBay store. There's a link in the description. But enough about that. Let's go have some fun. Here's a look inside the HyVee Center, which hosted the Capital City Card Convention, and it was dubbed as the largest three-day show in Iowa, which I definitely believe. They had a whole lot of cards, as you might imagine: baseball, basketball, football, wrestling, soccer, even Pokemon, and a whole bunch of other types of memorabilia, autographed helmets, jerseys, and even a whole bunch of things with Caitlin Clark, as you might imagine. These are some seats from Wrigley Field in the 1940s, which I thought was really impressive. You had some pins right here, and they had a few autograph guests, including Isaac Bruce from The Greatest Show on Turf for the nearby Rams. And I thought this was really cool, a table that had a bunch of wrestling autograph magazines, and this was actually set up by a friend of the channel. So thanks for your conversation. I had a lot of fun talking with you. I bought some cards from him as well. So now let's take a look at my review of the show, and then we'll go around Iowa. You'll see some of the sites and some of the pickups that I had. I had a lot of fun at the Capital City Card Convention. I think that they did a really nice job. One thing that I did definitely appreciate was on the perimeter, there was a lot of seating. They had some of the NCAA tournament basketball games going on, so you could rip open a box or go through your purchases and watch a little bit of the action. So that was kind of a nice little treat. They had a concession stand, which I heard was overpriced. I didn't try it myself, but it's always nice to have that option when you're at a show and get a little hungry or thirsty. I thought that the layout was pretty nice. It was never overly crowded in any area. I think there was only one or two tables that I kind of wanted to get to that it was kind of a struggle to find space to kind of get in there. So I might have missed those dealers and what they had to offer. But I was able to get through the whole show in one day. I was there just about when the doors opened and stayed until just about the time they kicked everybody out. And I definitely feel like I got my time and money's worth out of that. And best of all, I was able to pick up a full box full of cards here, and even more than that. But I want to show you a few of these, and then I'm going to take you around the state of Iowa, show you some of the landmarks, and show you some of the other purchases that I was able to make. And some of these will be available at the Baseball Card Illustrated eBay store, starting with this Harold Miner. You might know him as Baby Jordan, and I like this card a lot because not only is it a rookie card, but he's being guarded by the GOAT, Michael Jordan. Just a sampling that I picked out here. We got Wally Serbiak, a Topps Gold label. Those were really nice cards. A couple Alonzo Mourning rookie cards. Those might go to my friend Tyler, who's a big Zoe fan. Some of these kind of oddball cards are popular with collectors. So here's a Ricky Henderson. I think I've got another one in here of, I don't have it in here, but I got a Kirby Puckett as well. Got a couple Tony Gwynn cards throughout the course of the day. There's one of those. Here's Ricky Henderson with the Mets, which doesn't seem like it happened, did it? Here's another Tony Gwynn, and this is Skybox Premium, just like the Ricky Henderson. Here's a Barry Bonds Fleer Premium card. Here's another Tony Gwynn. Picked up Larry Walker. This is the Ultra Gold of the Hall of Famer. Then a couple autographs to share with you. We got Tyler Soderstrom, and this is a numbered to 99 Origins autograph. And last, possible future Hall of Famer Andrew Jones. I got a really nice deal on this one. That's a Topps chrome black autograph.
It just so happens right across the street from the card show, the Iowa Wild are in action. Speaking of the card show, let me show you some here outside the Wells Fargo Arena. We'll start with a relic card of former Brewer ace Giovanni Gallardo. I'd show you some hockey to be more fitting, but I don't have any. Here's one of my favorite Brewers, Richie Sexton. This is a game-used jersey card. He hit a home run in the first game ever at American Family Field. And last, we have Ben Sheets, who was a rookie but did not pitch in the first game at American Family Field, then called Miller Park. I'm at Papa John's Sculpture Park in downtown Des Moines, and there's a bunch of sculptures, and I'll show you a few of them. But the first one here kind of looks like the base of a tree, and I can come up with no more fitting card to show you at this location than Sean Kemp. This is his Skybox rookie card. I had to look this up. So this is a sculpture made of letters, and it's called Nomade. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And it's an anonymous crouching figure. And who else do you think of when you come up with the words anonymous crouching figure but Mookie Betts? I really don't know what the correlation is, but here's a Bowman Platinum card that is almost as majestic and beautiful as this sculpture. This hunk of red metal is called T8. Don't ask me why, but it does remind me a little bit of a statue in Milwaukee that I call the ugly orange thing at the end of Wisconsin Avenue. Anyway, since I'm a little homesick, I should probably show you some Brewer cards. So first, we got this really nice one here. It's an autographed Bowman Chrome of Sal Frelick. And let's hit up a former MVP. I'm talking Yelly. That's right, Christian Yelich on this really sweet autographed pinstripe card. Unfortunately, some people littered and left some cards of the football team from Missouri behind. Please, pick them up. Take your litter with you. And somehow we're transported to Philadelphia to wrap up Papa John's Sculpture Park with the Love statue. And nothing would be more appropriate than Philadelphia than Bryce Harper. Unfortunately, I could only find a Nationals card for this video. And speaking of love, we all love our friend Lisa Z. So here's a nice card of Miggy, Miguel Cabrera. This is Principal Park, home of the Iowa Cubs. Unfortunately, it's not a game day, but I'll be first in line to get tickets when there is a game going on. In the meantime, let me show you a Cubs card, and this is my favorite Cub of all time. It's the Professor, Greg Maddux, with a nice view of Chicago in the background. They won't let me in without a ticket, which is unfortunate, but I can at least see the scoreboard. And you can see we're getting close to the start of the season. It's a few weeks away, but here's a look down the concourse area inside. And speaking of great Cubs, here's a present for my good friend Bo at 1 Million Cubs Project. Hopefully he doesn't have this. This is a 1997 Donruss Preferred tin of Sammy Sosa. Here's a look at the skyline of downtown Des Moines. Pretty nice. You can see a couple taller buildings. And speaking of tall building, it reminds me of skyscrapers. Like this guy right here, Kevin Garnett. This is a Fleer Metal. And speaking of big guys from the 1990s, how about the mailman, Karl Malone? Really nice cards right there.
Here's a look at the view from my hotel room, which is located within easy walking distance of the arena and the convention center. And it's a beautiful Iowa morning, as you can see here, with rain and possibly snow in the forecast. Anyway, on the left you see 235. Right in the middle here you see the Des Moines River, which runs right through downtown. And then here's kind of a look off into the distance. You can see some bridges and some industrial areas and a whole bunch of other things that downtown Des Moines has to offer. Now let me offer up some cards to look at, and we'll start with CC Sabathia. I think he's a future Hall of Famer, and that's his All-Star Rookie Cup card. Up next, it's Paul Goldschmidt, and this is a 2014 Topps release, which is kind of funny because Paul Goldschmidt had already had 2 great seasons in by the time this card was produced. And our last card is a rookie card of Brian Reynolds. I think the Pirates have a chance to surprise in the National League Central this year.
With much pride, Brooklyn, Iowa was chosen to honor Harold Pye Keller, who after 74 years was confirmed as one of the 6 flag raisers on Iwo Jima. Here's a statue. As you can see right here, we have all of the military flags along with all of the state flags. Now I know this pales in comparison, but here's a couple baseball cards to go with it. Starting with Mike Trout. This is a recon card, a really cool addition to any collection right there. Up next, a cool relic card right here of Ryan Mountcastle from the Clubhouse collection. That's a bat card. And last but certainly not least, we're going to go with the big man, Shaquille O'Neal. And he's raising his Lakers jersey after signing with the LA basketball franchise. This is Kincaid Stadium, home of the University of Iowa football team. And as I spin around, off in the distance there, you can see the scoreboard. And one of the guys that used to keep that lit up with all kinds of points is the 49ers tight end, George Kittle. And this right here is a spellbound card. Now I'm going to walk a little bit closer and try to show you some of the inside, although you're really only going to be able to see the stands and maybe a glimpse of the goalpost. But that building off in the distance right here, that's the Children's Hospital, and I'm going to participate in one of the great traditions of college football, doing the wave to all the children getting treatment. This is Carver Hawkeye Arena, part of the Dale and Marilyn Howard Family Pavilion. And I've got to admit, at first my sense was, this is it? I actually kind of thought this building was under construction or demolition. But it's actually the home of the Hawkeyes women's basketball team. Here's a look inside the facility, which houses about 15,000 fans, and the NCAA tournament is going on this week. Anyway, that brings up a card that I have to show. This is a PC item, and you probably recognize her. That, of course, is Caitlin Clark, who is now the all-time leading scorer in the history of college basketball. This is something I felt like I needed to pick up in Iowa to make part of my PC as a great way to remember this trip, and I'm happy to have found it for just $10. This is Iowa 80. It's in Walcott, and it is the world's largest truck stop. There's a billboard leading into town that says it has parking for over 900 semis. And I believe it. This place has just about everything. It's almost like a small city here. There's a 24-hour restaurant. They've got a barber on location, a chiropractor. You can get a shower. They've got fast food. You can fill up your gas tank, do whatever you need to do in that regard. And of course, they have a convenience store. Now we'll find out if it's the world's best convenience store to go along with that. If they have baseball cards, I'm going to check that out in a second. But just in case, I brought a few of my own that we can take a look at. And up first, we've got the man that could do it all. It was Ricky Henderson. And he could hit for average, he could get on base, draw walks, hit home runs, steal bases, obviously. The man could do it all. A newer card is right here. It's New Money with Oswaldo Peraza from Bowman Platinum. Another card for you here is the great Wade Boggs. Gotta like this one. That's a really sharp looking card of his days with the Boston Red Sox. And last but certainly not least, it's the great Ken Griffey Jr. on a Fleer Mystique. If you build it, they will come. This, of course, is the site of the movie Field of Dreams. And unfortunately, it's springtime, so the corn is not grown in yet. And way off in the distance here, you can actually see where they're playing the MLB Field of Dreams game later this year. But here's a look at the outfield. We got some people running the bases. It's a very active site. And let me share a couple cards with you. A couple of my favorite players here. And we're going to start out with the Todd father. That's right, Todd Frazier, who was a Little League World Series superstar for Tom's River. Always been a big fan of him. And probably my favorite pitcher, the professor, the mad dog, Greg Maddux. Now we're going to step a little closer to home plate and wrap this video up with a true superstar. It's true. If you build it, he will come. A legend among stars that have been at this location through the years. We're in Dyersville at the Field of Dreams location, and the star of the Rob Deere Starting Lineup World Tour has joined us. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button.
Leave a comment, let us know what your favorite card in this video was. And of course, if you're new to the channel, thanks, welcome, hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you'll consider subscribing. We'd love to have you join the team. On behalf of Kevin the Diamond King, our graphics guru Dylan, and of course, Rob Deere himself, I'm Bronko, the PSA 11. So long, everybody. You've been watching Cards Across America on the Baseball Card Illustrated channel.